So what do you think? Was I able to finish all the 6 trails of the Tyler Arboretum Trail Challenge? Do you think I finished it? Keep watching to find out. So we're about to go through the gate and we're about to hike the Painter Trail here at Tyler Arboretum. I believe this trail is named after the Painter brothers, who were some of the ones that planted a lot of the historic trees here, like the giant sequoia. This is going to be about 2.3 miles, so let's check this one out. I've got to change my GoPro battery, have a little bit of a snack, and we're going to keep going here. I am working my way through all the trails as part of the Tyler Trail Challenge. So this is showing you that this is going to be a loop. So because this is an arboretum, even when you're out on the trail, sometimes you're going to see tags for things, and you could probably look up and see what this is. So we are following white and red. So I'm just having a little lunch as I hike this red trail here. I'm going to try to keep going because my goal was to see if I could finish the remainder of the trails in one day, and then I always like to try to be home when my son gets home from school. So got a good chunk of time to do this because this is pretty close to home. Okay, so this is the Indian Head Rock, and you can see the compass shape is carved into it. It's a little hard to see, but you can see that depression in it, and that is the rock that we were looking for earlier. And even though that portion is closed, I was able to get to it from the Blue Trail. I would say the Blue Trail is probably the easiest vantage point, and there it is. Earlier on Orange Trail, Dismal Run, I was looking for that Indian Head Rock, and actually, even though the portion where the fence is closed up there, on the Blue Trail, there's a super easy little access point, and I was able to find it. So I'd say if you're looking for it, it's easier to access off the Blue Trail, which is a pretty neat hollow tree. So we've got some ferns hanging on here, poking out of the leaves, still pretty green looking. So we've got an old stone wall here. So this section is almost a little bit eerie. There's just such a high plant wall on either side, even in kind of like the off season heading into winter, that it really feels closed in. You really have no visibility, yet you hear things moving in the brush. You know, probably chipmunks and birds and squirrels, but it's a little eerie. So there's a blue jay there. So this section is just kind of like thick green brush as far as the eye can see. Got one of these huge fallen trees. So as you can see here, we're coming back on the other side of where we started, and we'll be back to the sign soon. It was definitely a nice trail, some hills, some really cool things to see. I was happy to see that compass rock, which was very neat. Cool to see the old stone wall. So the plan is we're going to go back in gate 4. We're going to look for gate 3, and we're going to start the yellow trail, which is the middle farm trail. This is going to be about 1.5 miles, probably take us about 45 minutes. So here we go, the middle farm trail. It's got that yellow blaze. I think it's neat when the little weeds almost look like little tiny hay bales. Doesn't it look like little tiny bales of hay or little piles of hay? All right, so we've come back on the other side of where we started. We went that way first. So the yellow trail, piece of cake, super easy, simple. I'd say of all the trails in the Arboretum, that one's probably my least favorite, but it may just be the time of the year. So now we have one trail left. We're going to go back through the gate up here and go back out the next gate. So the last trail I'll be hiking as a part of the trail challenge is called the Rocky Run Trail. This is gonna be about 2 miles. So we're gonna pass gate number 2. Rocky Run Trails at gate number 1. So we're gonna have to keep going for a while, but this is turned into a paved path here. All right, so we've got a blue bench up here and the start of the blue trail. So the sun has come out again. It's neat to see just that last little burst of color for the season. You've got some brown, some oranges, a little bit of green, and it really pops because all the leaves are off everywhere else. So there is a creek along here, pretty shallow. We haven't had a lot of rain. Pretty neat looking rock. So the only thing that is a little odd about the trail challenge is you are going to be re-walking certain sections as you do the trails. It's like we've already been by this, but we're doing it again because we're doing that blue loop for the trail challenge. Trees are kind of amazing. So look at this one. It is so hollowed out, so burnt, yet it still stands, and at the top still lives, which is pretty amazing. You can see some leaves and some fresh growth on the top of that. It definitely becomes harder to make your way around as the leaves fall. It becomes more difficult, I think, to see the natural paths and things. Then down there, you can see more rocks. Perfect name for this area, Rocky Run. This is neat how the one side is so moss covered. The top has that on it. So we've got a turn to make up here. So we are going by that same section again where we saw that compass rock. For me, there's no better way to spend my day than just spending it outside all day hiking. I just love being outside. I think probably the only way that would be better was if my family was here. So it looks like we're now on the other side of this little stream. Coming up here, you can see all the rocks down there. So we are coming back to the entrance where we started, and I think I'm gonna sit on this blue bench here and fill out my paperwork for the trail challenge. Then we'll go to the office, turn it in, and I'm gonna head home. So I've got this handy little notebook and pen that YouTube sent me. It's great for jotting down ideas and things, but it's nice to keep in my pack, so I always have a pen. This is the Trail Tracker Passport. This is what it looks like. So the goal, finish 17 miles of trails by December 31st, 6 trails total. All right, so it is a great feeling to be done the Trails Challenge. I hope they do this again in future years, and even if they don't, I'm gonna be hiking these trails because there is so much to see here. I wanna come back even in like the dead of winter to see if I can see more of the ruins and things like that. I'd also love to come back in the spring and see when everything turns green again. There's so much to explore here. Definitely come to the Tyler Arboretum. It's really beautiful no matter the season, and if you haven't started yet, it's not too late. You have till the very end of the year, December 31st, to finish the challenge.